Hello, wonderful people. I want to read something directly from A Course in Miracles today. I'm looking at page 62, and there's a forward phrase here that completely shatters the ego. This need not be. Think about how much time we spend agonizing over the past. We sit in our anxiety. We let our nervous systems get completely wrecked by memories of things that are already over. And we just accept it as normal. We think that suffering is mandatory, or the Course steps in, taps us on the shoulder, and says, "This need not be. You don't have to keep doing this to yourself." Today, we're talking about how to look at all the heavy junk from your past and finally decide, this need not be, so you can recycle it. So you can recycle it into something powerful. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Kahir. I'm here to take you one step closer to self-love. If you cannot hear the voice for God, it is because you do not choose to listen. That you do listen to the voice of your ego is demonstrated by your attitudes, your feelings, and your behavior. Yet this is what you want. This is what you are fighting to keep, and what you are vigilant to save. Your mind is filled with schemes to save the face of your ego, and you do not seek the face of Christ. The glass in which the ego seeks to see its face is dark indeed. How can it maintain the trick of its existence except with mirrors? But where you look to find yourself is up to you. Where you look to find yourself is up to you. Just like what I said in my previous video, how we look at ourselves, our perception. I remember when I was very disempowered, I would look at my past as these trophies or this proof of why I'm worthless, why I'm a loser, why I'm a piece of shit, right? But it was my perception, right? I demonstrated from my attitude, my feeling, my behavior. This is our will. But we can listen to the voice of God that's telling us you are as perfect as God created you. You could look at your past cringe memories in a different light, right? The ego is using darkness, right? So you don't look at it, right? Maybe the memory is so painful you don't want to look at it, but it's through the light that we heal any memory, any past that's coming up now. I have said that you cannot change your mind by changing your behavior, but I have also said, and many times, that you can change your mind. When your mood tells you that you have chosen wrongly, and this is so whenever you are not joyous, then know, this need not be. In every case you have thought wrongly about some brother God created, and are perceiving images your ego makes in a darkened glass. Think honestly what you have thought that God would not have thought, and what you have not thought that God would have you think. Search sincerely for what you have done, and left undone accordingly, and then change your mind to think with God's. This may seem hard to do, but is much easier than trying to think against it. Your mind is the one with God's. Denying this and thinking otherwise has held your ego together, but has literally split your mind. As a loving brother, and I am deeply concerned with your mind, and urge you to follow my example as you look at yourself and at your brother and see in both the glorious creations of a glorious Father. So do you think God would look at your cringe memory and be like, oh? No, I don't think so. Or would he condemn another brother, whoever it may be? I know, and I have my stuff to deal with. But still. Because when I was disempowered, and I would have this past, and it'd be like, I'd look at myself and be like, oh, what a fucking loser. You're fucking struggling. Loser cunt, no friends, no money, no bitches. Of God? Are these loving thoughts? And no, we relinquish them. Relinquish them to the Holy Spirit. Right? And thinking in God is thinking with love. And this is the standard when Jesus is saying, well, when our mood lets us know, like when we're not being joyous, this need not be. And I'll tell you, when I was in mental anguish over my past, I was not joyous. So this need not be. This need not be. When you are sad, no, this need not be. Depression comes from a sense of being deprived of something you want and do not have. Remember that you are deprived of nothing except by your own decisions, and then decide otherwise. When you are anxious, realize that anxiety comes from the capriciousness of the ego, and no, this need not be. You can be as vigilant against the ego's edicts as for them. This is what the Holy Spirit is teaching us, being now. We're understanding that we have to be vigilant against the ego. It's like every day, I wake up, and not every day, but I wake up sometimes still with this sense of like meaninglessness, this nihilism inside of me. I'm like, this need not be. This need not be. Like I said, I'm not here to pretend I'm some guru. I'm not going through my stuff. And what I'm sensing here from what the Holy Spirit, what Jesus is telling us here when we say this need not be, means we don't have to look at our past through this lens. If I just wish I could tell my 25-year-old self, you don't have to look at your past as condemnation for yourself. You don't have to keep condemning yourself for what you did in the past. This need not be. This need not be. When you feel guilty, remember that the ego has indeed violated the laws of God, but you have not. Leave the sins of the ego to me. That is what atonement is for. But until you change your mind about those whom your ego has hurt, the atonement cannot release you. While you feel guilty, your ego is in command, because only the ego can experience guilt. This need not be. Watch your mind for the temptations of the ego, and do not be deceived by it. It offers you nothing. When you have given up this voluntary dispiriting, you will see how your mind can focus and rise above fatigue and heal. Yet you are not sufficiently vigilant against the demands of the ego to disengage yourself. This need not be. What Jesus says, voluntary dispiriting. I know it might seem radical, and I remember when I was disempowered, that it felt almost unconscious, like I was under attack by my own thoughts. But no, we're always in control. We can always take a step back and be like, this need not be. This need not be. I can focus again. I could choose again. I feel like it's temptation. Like, for example, if you're on a diet, you rate your calories and you see that tasty dessert. But hey, you said you're going to stick to your calories. You're not going to eat the dessert. And it's like we have to be vigilant, just like that. Right? Because sure, we might eat that dessert and it might feel good in the short term, but long term, we're like, oh man, same thing. Because it offers you nothing. That the dessert or the temptation be, whatever is coming up in your mind, it offers you nothing. Maybe some short-term pleasure that's fleeting, that gives so much more destruction than what it gives benefits. Same thing with the ego, man. Same thing of ruminating over the past. It gives us nothing. That doesn't mean forget about it. Like I said, we recycle the past. So we look at the junk and recycle it for good, just like in Prey, the material recycler machine. We recycle it, we use it for good, but we do not ruminate about it. The habit of engaging with God and His creations is easily made if you actively refuse to let your mind slip away. The problem is not one of concentration, it is the belief that no one, including yourself, is worth consistent effort. Oh, damn. Side with me consistently against this deception and do not permit this shabby belief to pull you back. The disheartened are useless to themselves and to me, but only the ego can be disheartened. The disheartened are useless to themselves and to me, right? But only the ego can be disheartened, right? I felt like this when I was disheartened. When I say disempowered, disheartened, dispirited, it's the same concept, really. I was useless, and I totally did not believe in any consistent effort. Right? I was worth consistent effort. Not until Mixed Nuts, until my improv group, when I was fucking 27 years old. That hey, if I stick with something, maybe something can grow. Right? And this is also with your mind, with mind training. the more we stick with something, with siding with spirit, siding with love, it's going to grow, it's going to expand. But we must stick with it. Have you really considered how many opportunities you have had to gladden yourself, and how many of them have you refused? There is no limit to the power of a Son of God, but he can limit the expression of his power as much as he chooses. Your mind and mine can unite in shining your ego away, releasing the strength of God into everything you think and do. Do not settle for anything less than this, and refuse to accept anything but this as your goal. Watch your mind carefully for any beliefs that hinder its accomplishment, and step away from them. Judge how well you have done this by your own feelings, for this is the one right use of judgment. Judgment, like any other defense, can be used to attack or protect, to hurt or to heal. The ego should be brought to judgment and found wanting there. Without your own allegiance, protection, and love, the ego cannot exist. Let it be judged truly, and you must withdraw allegiance, protection, and love from it. And when we relive these past cringe memories, we're giving our allegiance, our protection, our love in a screwed up way, right? Like I said, because our nervous system loves what's familiar, not what's healthy, right? My nervous system was wired to love the chaos, love being put down. It was just normal, but it was not healthy, right? We bring this judgment to that part, to the ego. We judge it. Is this healthy? Is it unhealthy? Unhealthy. Bye-bye. Your mind and mine can unite in shining your ego away, releasing the strength of God into everything you think and do. Do not settle for anything less than this, and refuse to accept anything but this as your goal. How easy it was to relive all these cringy memories, put myself down. But it takes the smallest willingness to let the Holy Spirit, God, into it, and let us think the way He thinks with unconditional love. Like I said in my previous video, we love the quote-unquote messiness. We love the cringe. We embrace the cringe. We embrace who we are. Right? We put this allegiance and protection and love from the ego into ourselves. Right? You stand by yourself. You're always on your own team. I can't tell you how many times I abandoned myself, and I use these cringy memories to abandon myself all the fucking time. And I don't want that for you. You are a mirror of truth, in which God Himself shines in perfect light. To the ego's dark glass, you need but say, I will not look there, because I know these images are not true. Then let the Holy One shine on you in peace, knowing that this and only this must be. His mind shone on you in your creation and brought your mind into being. His mind still shines on you and must shine through you. Your ego cannot prevent Him from shining on you, but it can prevent you from letting Him shine through you. Ooh. Like it says the willingness, right? The ego's dark glass will come up with a lot of cringy fucking memories and even interpretations. How many times you've interpreted something like, oh, I was such a big bitch back then, and then someone would be like, what? You were so funny, No? I was my worst fucking critic, and that would shine in every past memory I had. It's like giving myself grace, like what the Holy Spirit gives us, what God gives us is this grace. Like He shines for this grace, this unconditional love, but only we block it. The first coming of Christ is merely another name for the creation, for Christ is the Son of God. The second coming of Christ means nothing more than the end of the ego's rule and the healing of the mind. I was created like you in the first, and I have called you to join with me in the second. I am in charge of the second coming, and my judgment, which is used only for protection, cannot be wrong because it never attacks. Yours may be so distorted that you believe I was mistaken in choosing you. I assure you, this is a mistake of your ego. Do not mistake it for humility. Your ego is trying to convince you that it is real and I am not. Because if I am real, I am no more real than you are. That knowledge, and I assure you that it is knowledge, means that Christ has come into your mind and healed it. And the second coming of Christ means nothing more than the end of the ego's rule and the healing of the mind. Who causes this mental anguish but our ego? I do not attack your ego. I do work with your higher mind, the home of the Holy Spirit, whether you are asleep or awake, just as your ego does with your lower mind, which is its home. I am your vigilance in this, because you are too confused to recognize your own hope. I am not mistaken. Your mind will elect to join with mine, and together we are invincible. You and your brother will yet come together in my name, and your sanity will be restored. I raise the dead by knowing that life is an eternal attribute of everything that the living God created. Why do you believe it is harder for me to inspire the dispirited or to stabilize the unstable? I do not believe that there is an order of difficulty in miracles. You do. I have called, and you will answer. I understand that miracles are natural because they are expressions of love. My calling you is as natural as your answer and as inevitable. Right? And Jesus is reminding us, right, miracles are natural. Right? And miracles are a change of perception. Right? You might be thinking you're stuck in your past, or this past has defined you for many years, and this is the one stuck definition. But there are no order difficulties of miracles. The miracle can shift your perception. Just giving the little willingness, open that door for the Holy Spirit to enter and ask, how can I see this differently? Right? This need not be. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please subscribe for more healing content like this. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. Take care.